All right, welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Okay, my lovely viewers, today's video series is part two of the Ansible video series we've started. If you've not watched the part one, make sure that you go and watch the part one. The part one is going to lead us into the part two of this series. The part one was about getting started with Ansible, all right, and then the part one we saw how we installed Ansible with Python Package Manager, which is PIP, and we also tested we also created SSH connectivity between the control machine and the target machines, all right? And finally, we ended up that series, that video edition, by testing Ansible connection, all right? Testing Ansible connectivity between the control machine and the target machine. So we before we delve into today's topic, which is on Ansible Inventory, let's do a quick test of where we left over from part one. So here's my control machine. All right. So I have my control machine here, and I have my respective target machines. So what we did last time was Ansible all. I specify my inventory, which was all of the IPs from my target machines. So this is 10.0.1.213, comma, 10.0.1.148, comma, 10.0.1.143, comma, and 10.0.1 dot 102, all right, comma, and the module we used then was ping. So ping is just to check if Ansible could reach those nodes. So as you can see, we could reach these nodes via Ansible. All right. So these nodes are responding, they are answering. Okay. So this is where we left over. All right. So in today's video, we will see how we can start writing inventory, Ansible inventory file. All right. So putting all of these on the terminal like this doesn't look nice. It doesn't look nice. So I'll need a file where I can put all of those nodes or target machines or hosts in. All right. So for that, we are talking about Ansible inventory. So let's go back there. So what is Ansible inventory? So in a layman understanding, in a very basic understanding, Ansible inventory is a file where you define a list of target hosts, or you could call it nodes, or you can call it machines that you want Ansible to manage. So a file, I'll just come in. I'll create a file. It's telling me that a file. Let me use touch. Let's create an empty file called inventory. So assuming this is our file, all right. So in this file, I have defined my target hosts. That's the meaning of an inventory. So Ansible uses this file to apply to automate the application of task to target hosts. All right. So Ansible, let's now come somewhere here. So Ansible uses the inventory file to automate the application of task to target hosts or nodes or machines. So that's what Ansible uses the inventory file for. All right, so that's understood. Now, there's below here there's a little note which says this file could be placed anywhere in your file system directory, right? But it's recommended you place the file in the working directory where your Ansible playbooks are. Where your Ansible playbooks are. So in this context, so here is my working directory, pwd. So my working directory is home Ubuntu. I prefer to be here. Okay. So this is where also my inventory file is. So that's the meaning of that little notes down here. Next on the agenda is inventory format. The inventory file has two basic formats. One is the NIN format, and the other is the YAML format. Okay, so we're going to see the two of these formats, but going forward, we will stick to the INI format. All right, because the INI format is so easy, very easy to understand than the YAML. All right, it's easy to write, very easy. So the INI stands for initiation file format. Initiation file format. Then the YAML is yet another markup language. All right. So without further ado, let's see how we can get started with writing basic INI format. So for this format and going forward with inventory, I'll be heavily relying on the Ansible documentation. All right, the Ansible documentation. Okay, so let's see what we can do before we go into the Ansible documentation. So now you could see that so far, for me to use to target these hosts, I have to spell out their host IPs on the terminal, which to me like this is not nice. All right, it's not nice. So what I will do, I'll create a file which I've created. Then I'll copy all of these guys. Let's copy these guys. Copy, copy. Now open the inventory file. Open the file and paste these guys in here. So this is what I will do. I'll take them. This was for, okay, let's do it like this. Okay, all right. So now let's try something. Let's see if this will work. Okay, now I've defined things like this. Now let me see if this will work. So now, instead of passing all of these, now remove this comma now, all of these, I might just pass my inventory file. Now I hit enter. Let's see if it will go. Perfect. Now, you see how we are now trying to simplify things. We've started simplification. We have started simplification. This is Ansible at its very best. Okay, so now let me recall this is what we did previously. Now we have to modify things, all right, with the use of Ansible inventory file. Okay, Ansible inventory file. Now, perfect. So it's telling us that we could reach those guys, right? With just this. Now let's still go back into the file. This is let me just cut the file, sorry please. Let me cut the inventory file. So this is INI format in its basic and raw form. All right. So far we've not done what we call grouping, because I know very well that um, 1.213 and 148 they belong to web servers, right? Web 01 and Web 02. Okay. So now let's go into the file. So let's show us something what we need to do. So this I could come up here. I could say web 01 is equal to this. Let's see. And web 02 is equal to that. Now, let's do something. Let me escape, save, and quit. Now, I recall my Ansible all. Okay. I could target a particular um, a particular IP in my Ansible file. So I could say web 01 module ping. Oh, sorry for that. Sorry, I didn't go through. Okay, so we having some challenge. So let's go into the file. Inventory. This is um wrong format. Okay, let me do something. Let's do something. Let's leave this as it is so that you see different variation of what we need to do. So now I'll define web 01, and I'll define web 01 as a group, and that group item has a value of this. All right. So now I okay, if we do it like this, I escape. Now let's target only web 01. All right. So if we need to target web 01 hosts, right? So web 01 host, this is how you do it. Ansible inventory web 01. Then you hit enter. So this should only target web 01 host, which is 213. Okay. So now let's go inside again. And so these are different variations of writing an INI inventory file formats. Okay, so this was the first. Let me put a proper tagging, the basic style. All right. This is the grouping style. I just call it grouping style. You know. Then web 02. Okay, so make sure that this group has to be in square brackets. So web 02 is this. Copy that and paste. That is it. So if I need to also target only web 02, I'll come here and say this. It will only hit web 02. Okay, so now likewise we can go inside and do the same thing for um, app app 01 and app 02. Okay, so here's a group. So app 01 is this. So copy and paste and do the same thing for app 02. Copy and paste. So this is so far. All right, so far we are moving. So now let's escape, save, and quit. Okay, save and quit. And if I need to target app 02, so it's going to respond. I have this is 102, which is 102 here, right? Great. So now I need to group all my web hosts into into one group, into another group, right? So I'll go into that inventory again. All right, so all my web hosts, let's call this further grouping. Okay, so all my web hosts will be inside web. Let's call it web. So web, I'm going to target web 01, and web 02. So let me tell us what's playing out here. So what's happening here is this is now the parent group. So parent group. So this web 0100 to become a child item. So this is the flow. This is the flow. The flow is like this: parent to child, child item one, child item two, and so on and so forth, up till up till child item n. Okay, so this is just the format. All right, this is the format of writing this grouping. So I'll delete these guys. uh, Let me not delete it. Item 2 up till child item n. Okay, now so that's the format. So if I hit web, if I hit web now, web will be targeting both web 01 and web 02. So let escape, save and quit. So if I bring up my command again and I target web, so web now is targeting, oh sorry, okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, we need to do it properly. Let's do something. Okay. So now our grouping is becoming very complex. All right. So now I have to use a keyword called children. Column. Oh, sorry. Because this web 01 and web 02, they are children to the parent web. So I'll use a keyword called column children. Right. So with this, I'll be able to target web 01 and web 02. So you have to let Ansible know that those are children to web, because that's why it's saying that these guys could not be resolved. Fail to connect to host via SSH, could not resolve host name web 02. So you have to categorically spell it as children, as it is here, as we have it here. Okay, web, and you have to use the keyword children. So let's recall the command and see if it goes. So web, you can see, is now targeting. Before, we could not reach those nodes, all right? We could not reach those nodes, but now it's now reaching those hosts in the group. So let's go back inside of our inventory. So it's becoming very interesting. So you can do the same thing to app. Okay, so we'll come down here, further grouping. So we'll say app, and children of app are app 01, app 01, and app 02. So with this, I should be able to target all the hosts under app. So let's see something now. So let's go. I'll come here. I'll say app. So app should respond now with the last two, 102 and 143. So you can have here 102 and 143. All right. So let's still go back. Let's still further do uh, uh, further grouping. Okay. I call this more further grouping, more further grouping. Okay, so in this more further grouping, now I want to group the child, I want to group the parents of web and app. So I could call these guys, let's say I could call them um um uh, service, SVC. SVC, then there are children. Okay, now let's see if this will fly. So it will be web and app. So escape, save, and quit. Let's see. So instead of us to say, so this SVC is going to target all the hosts on the web server, all the hosts on the web server, and all the hosts on the application server. So it's going to target 4 hosts at the same time. You can see it combines all the 4 hosts. All right. So now it means that if I need my tax, or yes, my tax to be applicable to all of the hosts, all right, all of the hosts in my environment, I'm going to use the SVC group. The SVC group has a combination of, let's go back in there again. The SVC group has a combination of the web applications as well as the web servers as well as the application servers. All right. So this is the group web group has this web items, web host, right? And this has web host has these IPs, all right? And these IPs, they are standalone basic style. So this is a basic style of um, inventory, okay? So this is a basic style of inventory. So let me further break this guy down, this parents, children. So I'll come down here now. I'll now say, still on the, what's it called, syntax, parent, children. Also have child item, child dash item one, okay, child dash item two, and child dash item n. So this is just the format. Let me tag this syntax. Let me tag it syntax. Syntax. Okay, so this is the whole play. This is what we talk about inventory. All right. So now let's escape, save and quit. So let's look at Ansible documentation that talks about inventory. So I could check the documentation on terminal, all right, or I could use what we have in the browser. So let's check from terminal. So there's an Ansible command called Ansible doc. So if you get lost at any point, always use this Ansible doc followed by the keyword name. The keyword name. So Ansible doc inventory. So let's check. I've not done this before. Okay. Okay. So we don't have, it's only models. Morning. Model inventory not found. Okay, it's only for models. It's only for models. All right. So let's go on the web. So let's go on the web. So if I go on the web, I've opened down something somewhere, which is Ansible inventory. So I'll be sharing this link with us. Ansible inventory. Where are you? This is models. These ad hocs. Okay, this is inventory. All right. So let me share this link with you guys. Let me put it here. Let me put it here. Let me put it here. So sorry, it's not going. All right. So let me put it as a file. Let me put it as a file. Let me put it as a file. Paste. Great. Okay, let me delete this one. So there it is, the inventory documentation. All right. So the inventory documentation, look at it. Look at it when you watch the video and try and visit the link. All right. So this is what we have. Where are you? This is what we have here. Okay. So now inventory basic. Oh, sorry. Inventory basic format, host and groups. So this is what we just did, all right? So this is classification, all right? So there are two formats. We have the INI format, which is initiation format, and we have the YAML format. All right, the YAML format is, I don't see it. It doesn't look nice to me. All right, because of the nature of YAML. Though YAML is easy to as well, but I find initiation format very fanciful. All right, very fanciful. So it's very straightforward. Okay, yes, this web servers and that's and DB servers. So for web servers, you have this set of hosts. For DB servers, you have this set of hosts. All right. So this grouping, I wouldn't want to look at the YAML format. So this is how they write the YAML format of these initiation formats. So the same thing. All hosts, the first host, which is this guy, then children, specify children of the web server, then a host in that web server. So you can see it's too much of levels in YAML formats. It's best you stick with the INI format. So let's keep going down. Let's go down. We've done everything. We've done everything. Let me show us something. So this is another thing. This is just a range of hosts. If you have a range of web servers that has a pattern in their naming style. So this is what it means. So right, www.01 dot example dot com. So what this guy means is like is this it's like this. Www. Okay, let me first of all 01 column 50. So this is a range that has a pattern example.com. So you can write this whole thing as www 01 dot example.com. You do the next one www 02 dot example.com up till www.050 dot example.com. So that's the meaning of this information written down here. All right. So the same thing is here as well. All right. Here as well. Same thing. Now, passing multiple inventory sources. Okay, this is when you have different inventory sources. You have different environments. One is staging, all right, and the other, sorry guys, and the other is production, and the other is all right. So you can actually pass multiple inventories. Okay. We are coming. That's when we shall start talking about playbooks. Playbooks will be two videos from this video, right? Okay. This is a process of organizing inventory in a directory. This is a situation where you have multiple inventory files. All right. So you create a directory called inventory and have all the files inside of it. So if you want to reference those files as inventory, you reference it with the directory name. All right, so that's it. That's it. So adding variables to inventory. So you can actually add variables to inventory, but this um um okay. Let's do something. All right, I just want to show something. You can create a variable. All right. Um should I do this now or okay, maybe in our next video, all right? I wouldn't want to mix up things. Today's video is solely on inventory, how you write your inventory files, okay? And the next video, we will see how to use ad hoc commands. So our next video will be ad hoc commands because you need to understand ad hoc. Ad hoc commands are single commands you run against target hosts. All right. Now, for you to be a pro at writing playbooks, you must understand your ad hoc commands back to back. So your ad hoc commands are the basic foundation for writing a playbook, right? There's nothing in playbook. All you're doing in playbook, you're just repeating other commands, but in a different fashion, in a different style. All right. So in our next video, we will be talking about ad hoc commands. Okay. So that's where we will talk about some variables. So these are you create variables. All right. You call this guy. You're creating variables. Okay. Then let's see let's see. Okay. Okay. Ansible underscore hosts. This is inventory aliases. All right. Okay. This is in this context. Let's say something. Let me create an alias. Let's do something. Let me call that. Let me just call that. Let's say um, alias. All right. Alias. Then I would say I would say, okay, let's say, let's look at use what they've used. It's jumper server and Ansible underscore host. So Ansible underscore host is equal to let's say web 01, all right, web 01, come. All right. So let's see how they've defined it. Okay. So yeah, Ansible underscore. There's no S. Um, no S. So let's see if that will fly. So save and quit. So if I try to ping the jumper, let me see if this guy will go. Jumper. What it's saying? Jumper Ansible host expected group name. Okay, okay. So it's something inventory Elias. Okay. So how is that being called? How is that being called? Do. Okay. So I think that's all we have for inventory. That's all we have for inventory. Okay. So inventory alias, then defining variables in any INI formats, assign a variable to many machines, group variables. So all of these, we've seen how it has been already implemented. Then inheriting variables value, all right? So it's same concepts which we've applied. So yeah, they've created a group of hosts, Atlanta and Raleigh, all right? These are group of hosts. So you can also create group out of Atlanta and Raleigh, all right, which you call it Southeast Children, which if you can see here, we did somewhere in our inventory file, okay, which is this. We created a group from this and this. We also have a group of app and web, which is SVC, okay, which is SVC. So yeah, that's it. Organizing host and group variables. Blah 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 blah. These are files. Our variables are merged. Okay, okay. All right, guys. So that's all for Ansible and inventory. All right, that's all for Ansible inventory. And yeah, so in our next video, we should be looking at Ansible ad hoc commands. Ansible ad hoc commands. Ansible ad hoc commands. So try and play around with these guys, Ansible, and see you in our next video. All right. So this is what we did. Different grouping style, right? Grouping style. This is what we did, and Vowler. Okay. See you guys in our next video where we will be talking about Ansible ad ad hoc commands. All right. All right. Thank you so much for your support, and I wish to see you guys in our next video. Thank you, and have a lovely afternoon.